Welcome to ESPN's One Nación, the place to serve sports fans in English y en español, como no, aquí con Tony Collins. Yo soy Alfredo Lomelí. We're here at the Samsung Social Lounge. Tony, what a summer sports we have, including the 7th edition of the FIFA Women's World Cup.
We are going to be busy bees this summer with the World Cup. Now, for the World Cup, it's the first time we're going to have 24 teams, so 8 countries will debut in the event.
That's right. So let's take a look at the FIFA rankings to see who is on top of the list. Here we see for the women's international soccer, Germany is at the top of the list. U.S., no stranger to this competition, in second place, with France right behind and Japan in 4th place. Japan is the defending champion, but the U.S., like we said, it's not their first rodeo. The U.S. women's national team have a lot to prove.
They have a lot to prove, and they've also shown us some great plays, memories. We've created so many memories with the women's team. Last year, you know, they fell short just to Japan, but...
And penalty kicks.
And it's not going to get any easier this time around because they're in the so-called group of death. Let's check
Grupo de la
out
Muerte, always interesting.
how they've done so far, actually. But the FIFA Women's World Cup, the U.S., they were runners-up in 2011, 3rd place 2007, as well as 2003. The champions, 1999. How can we forget Brandy Chastain, Mia Hamm? I mean, such a great squad. And then we saw also 95, 3rd place, and 91. Champions. So they're in the group of death, though, Freddy, so they have a lot to prove.
They do have a lot to prove, but you know which other selection has a lot to prove? El Tri. Las mujeres del Tri, unfortunately, whereas the men usually tend to be right on par with the U.S., that's not the case with the women. The women's national team of La Selección de México really seems to falter at the group stage. They have a lot of pressure as well. As the women's soccer tends to build more and more momentum, they're looking for that rivalry to be the same. We're looking at the Group F precisely, where Mexico, we see their FIFA ranking is far behind U.S. and, of course, France, England. Just above Colombia, who is in 28th place. So Mexico, 25th position in the FIFA rankings. Not a good look for Las Mexicanas. Let's see if that can change.
Yeah, the 3rd strongest group based out of points combined with FIFA. But Mexico and Colombia at least could get a point or draw with these going against France or England.
You mentioned the group of death for the U.S. women's national team. Let's take a look at that group of death. Sweden, Australia, and Nigeria. Here we have some solid competition for the women. This is going to be Canada 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup. Tony, if you had to just, it's early but not too early. It's right around the corner. What are your predictions? Who do you see coming out champions of this competition?
I cannot not say USA because just the passion that they've shown, these ladies, the leadership they have, Abby Wambach. I mean, they have great players, Tobin Heath, Morgan. But you know what's interesting? Here's a little fact. The coach for Sweden is their former USA coach, so she knows them well in and out. So.
Yeah, but as we've seen many times before, I mean, based off of the historic events that have happened, you can never discount the women's national team. However, I do want to see the Mexican women get ahead as much as possible because really, like, what's going on? You know, Mexico is such a country that is so in love with football.
Claro.
Let's see that translate for the women in the World Cup. You know, what has to be done to get that going? Let's get that rivalry going. But of course, you can follow all of the competition from the 6th of June all the way to the 5th of July on all of ESPN's digital platforms, including ESPN's One Nación.
Ya saben dónde pueden encontrar todas las noticias que nos interesan en inglés y en español. Nos vemos en la próxima.